In this video, we will see usage of newView for some use case. The use case here is to get the territories for a specific account, uh, and we will just print out. We'll just get all the territory names, uh, and then we'll store in a particular field. And also we wanted to get only the prime territories. So we have basically different types of territories, right? So, but we will filter a condition based on the type. If the type equal to prime, so then only we'll get the name for this account, and then we'll store in the field. So first we need to uh, go with the like we need to go to application composer, and we need to check the possibilities how we can get the territories, right? Okay. So for that we'll go to account object and expand account and go to server scripts. So just for testing purpose, so we can use uh, some uh, some kind of trigger. Uh, so then before implementing in actual trigger, so we can use some kind of before update or before insert. Mm, for testing purpose, you can always use before update, just in case, right? So we don't need to create multiple records and to just trigger the code and see the results. So we can use before update. And now we'll go to functions. Okay, and function palette. So where we need to check the fields. Basically, we are trying to get the territory, right? And territory is associated to account. So first we'll check in the related list, is there anything with territory? Yeah, so we have one uh, child object, the related object called sales retrieval. Okay, so we found that, and we'll click on this, and then we'll see the fields. We have person first name, last name, object version number, party ID, sales account ID, sales profile ID. Okay. Uh, then territory version ID, okay, etc. We have, but the missing field here is uh, type, territory type code. So if we don't have the type filter, right? So we can directly use this particular collection, and then we can just retrieve the code and retrieve the records, and then we can just uh, get the territory names. But now the problem is we don't have the field here, type, and then we need to search for alternative. Then other possibilities is the first way we need to check is through collections only if we don't have any filter. Even if the filter is available, means we need to check the fields, and then we need to try to see. So the best option is to select collection or related object collection. So if it doesn't work, then we need to go with the newView. So in our case, it doesn't fit with collection, so we will go with uh, the newView. Now, to get the new view, right? So we need to check uh, how sales uh, how sales territory is uh, configured, right? So we'll go to we have a object called sales territory. So we'll go to sales territory object. We'll expand that, and here we'll just verify the fields. So basically, we are trying to filter based on for a particular account, what are the territories available, right? So to filter that, we need to have party ID here, account ID. So if we check here, we have partner ID, but I don't think party ID is available because uh, territories are linked to sales account. Okay. So okay, so it doesn't have directly the uh, sales account also, but it has territory IDs. Okay. So this sales territory uh, doesn't store the territories. Means that to link to a particular account. Okay. So okay, but we have a sales account. So this holds sales account territory, right? So and here we'll see fields. We will have sales account ID and territory or territory version ID we have. So so we need to get the sales account ID for a particular account. So that is step one. So we have one document where it gives the some example code for the same requirement. So we will follow this document and will use some the, the same solution for our requirement. But even if the code is not available ready-madely, and we need to follow the same way. We need to go to the object, and then we need to uh, find out the options fields, objects, and then we need to get the uh, right details, and then we need to start building the code. So here this requirement we can split into three 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 steps. So so if the if our collection supports it, then we don't need all of these multiple new views, because we don't have because it doesn't support collection, then only it required all of these options. So in summary, we need to follow these steps. So um, territories are linked to sales accounts, and so we need to get the sales account. Get sales account ID using for a given party ID. So this is step one. Then step two is after getting the sales account ID, so we need to find out the territory IDs using this sales account ID. Then the third step is uh, sales territory IDs, and now we have sales territory IDs, and with this we'll get the territory names. So this is the these are the three steps we have. Now, as per this document, so this is the step one, step two, step three. Okay. And step one is to get the uh, sales account ID based on sales party ID. So here we are using simple new view, and we are giving the object name sales account Vivo, and this we will get from uh, here sales account. So this sales account is just specifically used for sales application in addition to the account object. And this sales account will be used mostly for territories, to assign territories, to store all the territories, and even the team members. So that's the use basically to hold all the territory resources and as well as the territory uh, account territories. Sales account will be used. So now here we just use it simple view criteria. So where we are setting, where we are giving the party ID as a filter, and then we are getting the sales account ID. So this is step one. And step two is using this sales account ID. Okay, so we'll copy this, the first part. Just validate. So it looks fine. Then after getting sales account ID, so we need to get the territories, right? So as a first step, like this this code is currently giving only the territory name for one account, one territory. But this code doesn't give even if we have multiple territories, then the exact code whatever we have in this document doesn't give. So we need to modify this. So we'll modify. The second step also we are just giving sales account ID as input, and then we are getting the territory version ID. Uh, so and it gives territory version ID. territory version ID is also key for territories. So then the third step is to get the territory name. Okay, so and then finally we are getting territory name here. So we'll set attribute called all territories. So we have one attribute here, all territories. So to get this field, so we can even go to the function palette and then we can search for the field. So we are storing just in a text field. All territories. You can just insert or we can just copy paste here. All territories equal to territory name. We'll define outside so we can access. Now we'll execute the code by updating its record. So we'll update the name, okay, and then we'll click on save. So the code should trigger, and it should give the territory name. Okay, so we got the territory name here. We'll see whether it's correct or not. EMEA sales account. So to see sales territories, we need to put P in, and then we need to go to territories. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so it doesn't give uh, it is going into the loop and then it is giving the territory called EMEA sales consulting and which is of type overlay. But we need only the prime, right? So we need to incorporate this filter here. So go to application composer and in territory, in sales account territory, we'll try to find the territory type. Oh, yeah. So territory type we have. Yeah. So basically it gives the territory type, right? We need only the prime. So we'll copy this prime value and the field code is API name is type. So where we will incorporate this change, right? So is in step 2. So why? Because we are getting the territory details, territory version ID is there. Go to the code. basically we can add here. We'll create one more criteria. CI3. The field is type code and the value is prime. Okay. Now we'll get the territory as version ID only for prime. And this gives only one prime territory. So if we have multiple territories, it doesn't give. So we will check that also. Uh, Now when updating again, so it should give the prime territory. So area center node is the prime territory we have. So it got printed. So now the modification we need is if a particular account has multiple territories, then how do we get all the territories, and then we'll show all the territories. In this case, we have 6 territories assigned to this account, and then we need to print out all those. So now here, if we update, so it just gives only one territory, because we are getting we are getting only one territory, and then we are printing that. Okay, but it is prime territory. Now, to include all territories, we need to modify few things to the same script. So now we'll go to same script, and so we will see in step 0, we are just getting account, so which is fixed, right? So we don't need to modify anything here. And coming to step 2, so here we are giving sales account ID as a filter, and then type code is prime. So we might get multiple accounts, multiple territories with the same filter, sales account ID for us and type code. But the change required here is that the if. So here, if we use if, it loops only one time. So, but we need if there are multiple records, we need while loop. So we'll just change this from if to while. Since we are using while, it's better to define any variables outside. So for each loop, it doesn't define the variable. And then the change here is, so with this statement, it just replaces the territory version ID for each loop, right? So we need to store all the territory version IDs here. To store all the territory IDs, so we can use uh, the list here. So we'll modify by giving empty list here. So this becomes list. And then to add the territory version ID for each time, so we'll use uh, dot add function to the list. This is list name dot add of the field name, whatever the value, right? So we are getting row dot get attribute territory version ID. So we are adding this ID for each iteration to this list. So now territory version ID has all the territories, okay, which are filtered with this criteria. Now coming to third step, where we have territory version IDs, but mm, we need to make it dynamic. So it means we need to filter. We need to pass for each loop. We need to pass the territory version ID, and then we need to get the territory name, and then we need to store that as well. And then finally, once we get all the names, we need to set the value. So for this, we need to use the list concepts, right? We are using list concept. I'll just take a one function. So I have a sample code here for looping the lists. So just will use this. Here we are looping by taking the list. Okay, so we'll use this code. So here we'll just give the name territory version, and the same variable we'll use here wherever required. But the 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 list name is this, so we are modifying that. And inside this, so we need to write the actual logic. The same logic we need to use, but it just should iterate. Okay, step one is defining new view. And so since we need the dynamic criteria, right? So we'll just ignore this criteria, and then we'll use the expression. So new parent name, and the criteria here is the expression, right? So the expression is territory version ID equal to. The criteria here is territory version ID equal to territory version ID, right? That are stored in the list. Right? So to make it dynamic, we need to use the quotes and then dollar symbol and then flower brackets open. And inside that, we can give the variable here. So now it executes for each time it loops and it places different version ID. So keep it ref and we'll see. We don't need this because we are using the same logic above. I don't need this code. Now, now we are getting the territory name, and then we need to concatenate, right, for each loop. So we'll use this logic for the first time. If uh, if territory name is blank, first time we'll set without concatenating. Okay? If it is empty, or if territory name is null, so then we'll set the attribute. Okay, the same value we are setting into territory. Else, territory name equal to territory name plus we need to use some kind of space, okay, comma, then space, then plus. So this is how we are concatenating. We are concatenating the existing territory name, the territory name we are appending to the existing value plus the new value. And mm, after using this, so we are just assigning that concatenated value to the variable. So that's all the changes. Okay, give some warning. We'll see. So this is a string, and the plus concatenation will work only for strings. So we'll change this type to string. So this warning will disappear. We'll save the log code and then we'll execute it. So this has 6 territories, right? So now we'll update this, and we need to see, we should be able to see 6 territories here. I'll update something and then save. Yeah. So we are able to see global sales one. Yeah, we are able to see all the territories here, and it's separated by space, comma, and then space. Okay. So this is how we can use the new views to uh, for a specific requirement.